This gentleman is a true visionary in the field of technology and work, and he is here to wrap up the final session of Tech Frontiers. So without further ado, let's welcome our next guest, Matt Barrie, the CEO of Freelancer. A very warm welcome.
Thank you for having me. So I'm here to give you a quick insight into what's happening in the world of work today. I run Freelancer Limited. We are trying to build a mini Amazon of services. We have businesses in labor, payments, and freight. And today I'm going to talk to you about Freelancer.com, which is the world's largest crowdsourcing marketplace. We have 80 million people from around the world doing work for consumers, small businesses, and very, very large businesses, all the way up to NASA, doing all sorts of crazy things online. Now, we're trying to solve a $1 trillion problem. There are 5 billion people on the planet who need a better job, and the rest of the people on the planet need people to do things for them and get things done. And so what we do is we connect the two through our marketplace. And if we get to the next slide, I can show you the rest of it. The clicker has failed. So what we do is we connect entrepreneurs and businesses large and small from all around the world. If I can have the next slide, please, on the decks. The clicker's not working. Here we go. Oops, it's gone all the way through down to the end of the presentation. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we connect to 80 million people around the world. What's remarkable about this is we have 30 million people in India. So India is actually the powerhouse here in terms of talent on the platform. And what we do is we help entrepreneurs and businesses basically create the future. So make products and services of the future, start companies, do startups, and basically take their large companies to the next level potentially. So we help entrepreneurs really solve these problems. And at the same time, we do something truly remarkable, which is we help freelancers from all around the world, and many from emerging markets, and the largest demographic from India, really rise up, start businesses as service providers, and help companies from all around the world compete with the likes of Amazon and all the other big companies that are out there, and really change their lives in the process. One of the big things we're seeing right now is we're seeing the third big wave, I think, of business transformation sweep through the world. So for those of you who remember 1994, 1995, that was the year the internet went mainstream around the world, mostly in Western economies to start, and then rippled through the rest of the world. And businesses went online to reach customers. And they did that by building websites. And so web development is a very large category of the work that we do on our platform today. The second big transformation that came through was with the smartphone revolution, which was app development. The third big one right now is AI development. And I guarantee you, in 2 years from now, you'll look back at this and you'll go, oh my God, you've got a glimpse of what's going on. AI will be answering the phones for businesses large and small to do things like take a booking and put it in a calendar, to process a credit card for a sale, to do support, or to do outbound lead generation. If you go to freelancer.com/AI, you can get a taste of what you can do. And that's the third big wave of freelancers helping businesses all around the world getting things done. And there's some pretty amazing demos to check out for yourself. This is a real map of our workforce around the world. The white dots are where people are, the pink are where jobs being posted, the blue are jobs being performed. And you can see India is at the center of the universe here. AI is really transforming the workforce here in India because the skills are going through the roof. You could be an average copywriter before, you are now an exceptional copywriter with GPT and with Claude. You could be an average illustrator, now with a Midjourney and with Stable Diffusion and likes, you're an exceptional illustrator. And this is going through every single white-collar job you can think of. And the big thing that's happening right now is with programming. So with the likes of Windsurf and Cursor coupled with Claude Sonnet and the likes of that, or Gemini 2.5, you're seeing now programmers are having the tooling come to them, having their sort of mid-journey moment where they're going to be AI-powered software development. That things are going to go really crazy, where you're about to come to a freelancer, you're about to say, I want to build a business rather than I want to build an app, and we'll set the whole business up for you, including all the programming with AI-powered freelancers. We operate in 33 languages around the world, 38 currencies around the world. And really, we're seeing some pretty amazing things happening right now with the transformation, not just in terms of lifting of skills, where we used to have the widest range and sort of the lowest cost, because on demand, you only pay for freelance talent when you need it. So you'd never fire someone. You'd always just keep them around and use them later on down the track if you had a project coming up. But also what we're seeing, so we're seeing widest range, lowest cost transform to widest range, lowest cost, also higher skills. because with AI-powered freelancers, you're getting basically the skills being lifted right through the roof. The other thing we're seeing is a big lift in liquidity. So there's two ways of getting work done on the site. You can get a project done where you post a title, a description, and people bid on your project. On average, 51 people bid on your project when you post it. But with contests, for example, we saw a lift in contest entries up by 60% in the last year, thanks to AI tooling, helping people come up with contest entries and submit them. And you can do contests from $10 American, right up to the biggest thing we have running on the site right now is $6 million US for gene editing in the central nervous system of humans with the National Institute of Health and NASA. So at the very, very high end, we do breakthrough innovation for enterprises, and I'll show you a little bit in a second. But we're seeing a very, very big lift in liquidity come through from the AI tooling, helping freelancers not just produce high quality content, but do so very, very, very quickly. And that's across all the different skill areas. So you can do things like design products, you can get products manufactured, design houses, you name it, and mechanical engineering, and you can tap into basically all this talent. The other thing we're starting to see enterprises create their own talent clouds using our technology. So in our enterprise division, for the likes of Deloitte, we have built a platform where 72,000 US consultants are on the platform, and they can hire other Deloitte consultants from all around the world to work on projects that, tapping into skill sets they may not have locally, as well as tapping into a very curated, high-end, qualified, approved talent network of freelancers to get work done. We also have a Moonshot Innovation Challenge program where what we've done is, because connecting up the 80 million people we have on our platform, we can now use that as an innovation search engine. So what you can do is you can have a challenge, and you can put it out to all the minds out there around the world to do breakthrough innovation. And if you've got a large conglomerate, you may have trouble with inertia, trying to actually get people within that organization to do breakthrough technology or breakthrough innovation. Here's an example of the gene editing challenge. We've awarded about half the prize money so far. There's about 100 different academic results that have come out as a result of that, and that's over a multi-year program in the field of biotechnology. We've just done something to help figure out how to refuel spaceship in low gravity environments with our venting challenge. That's just completed. We've also done something recently to track debris in orbit, and how do you not just track it, but how do you remediate it? For example, do you use lasers to try and knock it out of the sky, or what have you? So we, at the very, very high end, can do some very, very, very sophisticated work. So no matter what your enterprise might be, we can solve those issues for you by tapping into the global genius of 80 million people. And of course, you only pay the winner, and we do the whole challenge design for you as well. The other thing we're doing, which is quite interesting, and India is a big powerhouse of this, is training the next generation of foundational models. So working actually with Tech Mahindra locally, we actually have 130,000 people working for one of the world's largest foundational AI models, helping with the training of that. So obviously these large AI systems now are consuming huge amounts of data, but to get very, very good and high quality, accurate results, you need to have skilled experts look at the output of that AI and actually effectively do the RLHF training, reinforcement learning for human feedback training. So we do that across a range of different projects. So we can marshal, for example, up to 25,000 people per day to work on a foundational model for tuning. And we can do that depending on what you need. We can get a variety of skill sets, like you might need to have a biology degree or economics degree or a history degree, which is where all the foundational models are heading as we speak. And as I said before, we do it at Tech Mahindra locally, working with some of the largest foundational models in the world. Also locally in India, we have done work with Hewlett-Packard to build a field services network to help with computer, laptop, printer, server repairs. So if you break your computer, printer, laptop, or server, you go to the HP service center, you call on the phone, you log a ticket, that gets routed into our system, which is integrated, and we have a whole turnkey solution where we've trained. We run the dispatch, we run the operations, and we do the field services. And what we do is we provide an overlay capacity for surge. For example, in the monsoon season here in India, you need to have more laptops being repaired. We tap into a network of field service engineers we've built, and also we provide white space capabilities. So in remote and regional areas where they used to batch up jobs to go out and do the repairs, and that would mean missing SLAs because they had to wait for enough jobs to come in, we fixed that by using freelance talent on demand and a dynamic network. So that's a pretty amazing thing, and this is runs in, I think, about 28 or 29 cities here in India. Another big thing we're doing is with government, and all governments have a universal problem, and the universal problem is they have a lot of people on unemployment benefits. Now, what governments have figured out is the lowest 20% socio-economically in the workforce that are on benefits, it's very, very hard to get them out into the workforce, into full-time employment. In fact, the best way to do it is through micro-employment through the cloud. And so you kind of, because it might be in rural areas, remote areas, maybe there's mental health issues, maybe it's a mother who hasn't gone to the workforce properly because they're looking after children, maybe it's someone who's retired, maybe it's someone who's disabled, etc. and so on. And so we have an accelerator program. We work with governments, for example, with Bahrain right now. We have a program running where we have the top freelancers on our platform train the people who are on benefits through effectively an international freelancing certificate, and we help provide them access to jobs. They have paid internships with some of the top agencies on the platform, and we give them paid employment through that, get them on their own 2 feet, and help them into the world of work, working online through both online jobs and offline jobs, right? So not just your typical freelance jobs or moonlighting jobs as you might have in India, but also a whole range of jobs. So that's pretty exciting. And in fact, Kerala in India actually has one of the most advanced programs in thinking about this out of the whole of the world that we've actually seen. So props to Kerala. And just to finish up, I thought I couldn't leave without talking about tariffs. One of the world's largest, actually Chinese, trillion-dollar e-commerce company, I won't mention which one it is, has been using us for about almost 2 years now in trying to find new markets, because obviously now there's some challenges with the United States market. And so they want to, for example, culturally adapt as well as localize their marketing campaigns, their products, and so forth to be able to tap into new markets. So they come to Freelancer to do that. For example, in Latin America, in you might maybe Ecuador, you need to find people who know how to culturally adapt advertising campaigns, marketing campaigns, localize the actual product literature, and find influencers on TikTok or what have you in the local market in order to promote what they do. So it's a pretty crazy world of work out there. AI is not going to be taking people's jobs, but it is going to be turbocharging people's jobs in terms of their skills. And we're seeing some pretty amazing transformations. And I really do think as well, this is going to lead to an explosion in micro-entrepreneurship, right? Where just like you go out in the street here in India and you see all these little shops, one person's repairing scooter seats and one person's doing travel or this, that, the other. It's going to be so easy now. The trend is getting easier and easier and easier to start a business, find talent online to help you with that business. Through Freelancer. That talent is now turbocharged with the use of AI. So you get a very, very high quality talent on a very low budget because A, you're tapping into emerging markets, and B, it's on demand. And it's pretty amazing in terms of the products and the services and the future that's being created through our platform at the same time as helping the service providers basically start their own companies. So it's a pretty amazing space to be in. Thank you for your time. And remember, India's the powerhouse of all of this, so I'm really glad to be here. And it's been a great conference, so thank you.